Here's a quick video on making Colby cheese. The entire recipe will be at the end of the video, so you can copy it down then. You're going to need 1.5 gallons of 2% milk, 1/8 of a teaspoon of mesophilic culture, some annatto coloring, calcium chloride, non-iodized salt. You're going to heat the milk to 86 degrees, put in the mesophilic culture and stir it. You're going to add the coloring. Then you're going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of calcium chloride and some liquid animal rennet. When you do that, you let it sit for a while and it will begin to solidify. You can see then that you can cut it. You can see, you call this a break test, where you can see that it is beginning to solidify, and now you can actually begin to slice it up with your a knife of some kind. You want to cut it in somewhere from 3/8 to 1/2 inch strips, approximately. You're going to cut it at 45-degree angle so that you can get cuts all the way. Just slice it through. It's just not a critical part. Make sure that your knife goes all the way down to the bottom. The reason for slicing at 45 degrees is so that we'll get the cuts chunked up and cut. If you cut it straight up and down, you'd have vertical towers, and you don't want that. You want them into smaller pieces. As you get to the end, you almost have to put your knife straight up and down to make the slices. But when you come back the other way, it's going to change it. And you begin to see then, as you let it sit for a while, the whey is beginning to come out. Stir it very gently at first, and just start to mix it up. I'm going to begin then raising the temperature from 86 degrees to 102 degrees over a period of about 30 to 40 minutes. So you want to control this fairly well, going from 86 to 102. We'll continue to stir. See more whey coming out at this point. Cheese is getting a little smaller. It begins to shrink as it heats. And once you've arrived at that 102 degrees, you're going to continue to stir it for another 30 minutes or so. Now you have a lot of whey on top. You can see the curds are underneath. You stir so that they won't clump together and stick together. Now, after you've reached that 30 or 40 minutes, this will be in the recipe, then you're ready to drain some of the whey off. So just take a cup and drain some of the whey off into another dish, another bowl somewhere. You want to drain it down to just above the curds. Get as much whey off as you can. Next step then is to add some cold water at about 60 degrees. Add that back in to replace the whey that you took off. And the process here is, the idea is to cool it down to about 80 degrees. So we're going now from the 102 that we had back down to about 80 degrees. And we'll continue to stir. This slows down the lactating process when you've cooled it down. And then the final steps are fairly straightforward. Once you've reached the 30 or 40 minutes, you've got it to 80 degrees. You can then drain it off, put it in a strainer, and let it sit and dry for 10 or 20 minutes. Then you can take it out and put it into a cheese press, put it into a mold, press it with cheese, or you can press it with bricks on top or whatever you have to get the proper weights. And when you're finished, you'll come up with a nice block of Colby cheese. The recipe will follow this picture here. Take as much time as you need to copy it down, and then you can just stop the video.
All we are is dust in the wind. Don't hang on. Nothing lasts forever but the earth and sky. It slips away, and all your money won't another minute buy. Dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind. Dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind.